Historically, if you think about government as business, government has been, and especially the technology business, it's sort of been growing and growing and growing over the past, especially over the past 15 years. And just like any business that's growing, we tended to create new applications and add to the infrastructure and add because technology went from being sort of a support kind of thing or a database off to the side, something that has been very integral to all the businesses. And so as different parts of the mission became important and technology was embedded in it, things sort of grew. And so there's an opportunity now to kind of take a pause and say, listen, how can I optimize the existing infrastructure in place to actually reduce costs? And it's not something that was intentional within government, just like it's not in the private sector, just sort of the nature of how technology has been implemented, and it's grown over the last couple of years. And so there's clearly some opportunities to look at server consolidation or optimization so that we're reducing the number of servers and things like that, whether they're data centers or servers. Another way you can reduce a lot of cost is thinking about the management of all the different mission support applications or even non-mission support, some of the administrative applications as well. In traditional IT projects and management, we tend to build an application and then do all the operations and maintenance separately. And again, that's just part of sort of how things have grown. And there's a way to actually help rationalize a lot of that and reduce the costs around that. Once the applications are built, sometimes you don't need all the expertise and all the folks who built it and are that knowledgeable. Sometimes it's just maintenance support and small enhancements and things like that. There are opportunities out there where you actually can take a group of applications and do the operations and maintenance around it, which would reduce a lot of costs because you don't have people just sort of sitting around waiting for changes to occur. So you want to cross-train people in different kinds of the applications that they support, and that's a great way to actually reduce those costs. I've talked a little bit about how you can reduce costs in the existing infrastructure and applications, and especially in terms of how things used to be done. Now, as we move forward, in today's technology, if we look at cloud, cloud is an opportunity, obviously, to reduce infrastructure costs, but also on the application side. And so, by moving things to the cloud, not just the infrastructure, but also applications to the cloud, there's huge reductions there as well. So, it's a matter of sort of cleaning the existing store and the existing processes, and then thinking about using some of the newer technologies like cloud technologies for any future kinds of things, or where you can actually move applications or infrastructure into what I'll say is a more cost and effective cost models. But there's also, in today's world, we expect things to be online a lot faster. And clearly one of the areas is around shared services. And so whether we host a shared service in a cloud or we make it available some way, it's a way that we can actually reduce costs, but also be up and running in something a lot faster. And so we're able to reap the benefit from actually getting that application up and moving to actually results in what we're trying to achieve. And so that's a huge advantage in terms of shared services. So as we think about things today, I personally have struggled with the word enterprise architecture because over the past, I would say, 5 to 7 years, we've used that term, and it's meant a lot of planning and trying to figure out where all the pieces of the puzzle are within an agency. And to me, I think we're at the next generation of enterprise architecture, which is really about leveraging all the work we've done in enterprise architecture and really applying it today. So when we talk about enterprise architecture is really what I would say is its next generation. It's not about sort of surveying everything and writing plans for how to do enterprise architecture. Now it's actually about putting it into place and using it as really part of the decision making. And so if an agency has an opportunity to create a new application, as part of it, it's not just understanding what's in the existing agency configuration, but it's actually using that information and applying it to the decision making. And that means, do I need to build the application at all? Because it's already available throughout the federal government somewhere else, whether it's in the cloud or or in another avenue? Is it within my own organization somewhere? Is there a piece of this application that's already existing within the organization that this new program can take advantage of that? Is it an application that needs to be developed, and if so, is it something I can then put into the cloud so that it can be shared more globally because it's something new? So you have to really be thinking about things in terms of sharing first and then leveraging as well. And so it's taking advantage of looking at things that are available so that we can actually start these projects and get them finished faster.